Hey everybody, it's Jason with Parallel Reality back with you here today to go over I guess it's not really a part 2, but kind of part 1A of the video I did the other day about the Tennessee 3 and how they voted against school safety measure bill in Tennessee. And this is kind of a slight continuation of that, specifically with Gloria Johnson, who was the white lady between the Tennessee 3. And some remarks she made that I don't think there's a way you can roll your eyes hard enough at this, and if you try, your eyes might actually pop out the back of your head, so just be really careful. Like what she's gonna say here might actually make you have an aneurysm, so you might want to sit down for this one. So this article is from townhall.com from April 13th by Matt Vespa. Heading says, Tennessee Democrats' latest remarks put her grip on reality in question. And yes, it does. And there's our lady who you find out very quickly. She has absolutely no idea what the hell she's even talking about. It says, Tennessee State Rep Gloria Johnson almost got expelled last week. She barely survived while her two colleagues, Justin Jones and Justin Pearson, were dismissed. And we know as of this point that they have since been reinstated. It says the Tennessee Republican Party has a supermajority in the state house. Johnson's vote was frankly quite shocking. Jones and Pearson are black. Johnson is white, sparking discussions about race again. Anyway, these three were targeted for expulsion for their role in the March 30 storming of the state capitol, a rebellion sparked by the Covenant School shooting 3 days prior. A transgender mass shooter gunned down 6 people, though the media have long suffocated that detail. Yep. While smaller in scale, this was no different than what happened on January 6th. Consequences had to be handed down. Yeah, I thought you guys didn't want to do the whole, the people on the left, that is. I thought you guys didn't like insurrections, but then one happens and it supports your side, and suddenly insurrections are awesome. They're great. Okay, so obviously a massive double standard here, and like Matt Vespa writes in this article, it's smaller in scale than what happened on January 6th. So continuing on, says maybe not in the form of hundreds of people being held as political prisoners, which is happening, and having their rights stripped, which also has happened, but the expulsion of these Democrats is the next best thing, albeit symbolic. Jones and Pearson were reinstated this week by the National City Council. Okay, so that does cover that. Man, that other article that I went over was dated the same day from a sister website as this, and it didn't even have that in there. So, okay, well, that works. Yep. Well, Jones and Pearson have soaked up the limelight, displaying grade A political theater. Yep. Miss Johnson spewed nonsense that calls into question her sanity, at the very least her fundamental understanding of government and, I would say, reality. Before the expulsion votes, Johnson told a left-wing magazine that North Korea has more democracy than we do. I'm going to repeat that just to hopefully let it sink in what this idiot just said. She said that North Korea has more democracy than we do. Last I checked, and, you know, hey, anybody out there, correct me if I'm wrong about this, North Korea has no democracy, okay? They are a bunch of commies in North Korea. You can't do jack shit in North Korea, okay? So, no, this is not even close to being a false equivalency. This is so far beyond being a false equivalency that there's probably no actual terms for what it is. So Tim Meads here, embedded from Twitter, it says, almost expelled Gloria Johnson has said that saying, let's go Brandon, is the equivalent of burning the U.S. flag. Okay, and claimed North Korea has more of a democracy than Tennessee. Okay, though, again, both of those things there, we already went over the North Korea has more democracy than Tennessee thing. Let's go Brandon is the equivalent of burning the U.S. flag. No. Again, massive false equivalency between those two things. So there's a quote here. It says, a Tennessee Democratic lawmaker who escaped expulsion after storming the state capitol with gun control protesters said North Korea has more democracy than the volunteer state and claimed that her Republican colleagues' attempts to oust her were a step toward fascism. Okay, I've said this in many other videos. People on the left, go look up what fascism is, okay? I know that you guys think that word just means bad people or bad thing or thing I don't like because you keep using it wrong. This is not fascism. This is called consequences. Okay? What you guys are trying to implement, if you look at your policies, is much closer to what actual fascism is. Okay? Than just you basically doing something stupid and your state legislature going, you shouldn't be here anymore because of that stupid thing you did. Okay? But this is a word that riles up the press. So when they see that word, they're going to go, oh my God, it totally is. And again, a lot of people in the press don't seem to know what that word means. And before we move on to the next paragraph, I'm going to say that fascism is something that came from socialism. It's an outgrowth of that. So you might want to look into this a little more, because you politically are very much on the side of where this came from. So anyway, it just annoys me that people on the left, especially the far left, do not seem to understand what words mean. Okay? Because they have a specific meaning, and Ms. Johnson, you are not using that word correctly. It says, article continues, I feel like North Korea has more democracy than we do, because you're dumb, in the state of Tennessee, and that's terrifying me that we're in this march to fascism that you guys are trying to implement. State Rep Gloria Johnson told left-wing outlet Mother Jones. Oh, there's your problem. It's Mother Jones, who is just a freaking rag. It's a garbage place that's far left, and they also have no idea what the hell they're talking about in most things. So it was an interview before the vote. Johnson and two other Tennessee Democratic lawmakers, state reps Justin Jones and Justin Pearson, faced expulsion after rushing the state capitol with anti-gun protesters following Nashville's Covenant School shooting that left 3 adults and 3 children dead. Johnson claimed she most likely escaped expulsion because she is white. No, because the other two admitted to, I think it was something like they admitted to actually being a part of what happened, and she just kind of joined in after the fact, sort of thing. And I think it was also because those two might have had some stuff that had happened beforehand, and so they were kind of like on not great terms with what was happening. So there were extenuating circumstances here. It had nothing to do with skin color, but you're a far leftist. You can only see the world through one lens, and that's through race. So of course that was going to be her narrative, because again, this is not a smart person we're dealing with. It might have to do with the color of our skin. It does not, Johnson said to a reporter after being asked why she was not expelled while Jones was. And remember, she only survived the expulsion vote by 1 vote. And it was because the person who was the one that essentially saved her had to put out a statement saying why he ended up voting for her. I don't remember the details, but it was kind of like you'd read it and just kind of go, really? That's why you did it? Like, okay. Anyway, says Pearson's legislative fate was still underway at the time of her comments. Okay. It's in keeping with the liberal ethos of trying to make everything in America look racist or grave. That's correct. And their effort to make the United States appear irreparably damaged, they've done just that with their whining and endless drama, coupled with lectures saturated in academic fraud and historical illiteracy, as I said. Says the city council reinstated her 2 colleagues. Okay. That never happens. It can't. Only the supreme leader can dictate such actions. Did that happen here? No, everyone involved has been elected by the people, so please spare us your embellishments. You're making yourself look like an idiot. Yeah, I mean, this is just dumb. The comparison she's making, it's like they're essentially apples to oranges comparisons, and Mother Jones, being the freaking rag that they are just going, yeah, that makes sense. Well, let's print that. Even though anybody with, as I've said a million times, anybody with, the brain power of half a retarded amoeba would look at this and go, those quotes and go, no. That those are not the same in any way, shape, or form. Like, what are you talking about? Okay. And people on the right, when folks on the left start doing this, we need to start saying that these are just stupid people. I mean, you need to start calling them dumb and stupid. And if they keep trying to make it about race, which they're going to do because they don't have another anything else in their playbook, you need to just keep saying you're stupid. Okay, you are a dumb person that nobody should talk to or take seriously because you don't know what these words mean. Anyway, obviously I'm a little worked up by that, but let me know what you think in the comments below. Please like, share, subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.